Hi, my name is Ivan and welcome to TNS. When I was trying to figure out what would be the good way to explain this, I decided to avoid the technical aspects and terminology altogether because when you start learning about compression, you're introduced to a lot of terms and keywords that are associated with, such as attack, release, dynamic range, and some other ones too that dig deeper into the meaning when trying to be descriptive about what compression does to the sound. So the compressed sound can be glued, controlled, nice and even. This list could go on and we could probably add more while explaining. I also want to compress something, but I don't want to be attacking and releasing and worry all too much about how much of gain reduction is happening. I want to be creating something, making shifts from boring to exciting. The reduction that happens with compression isn't reductive at all. If anything, it's adding to excitement, movement, and emotion. Funny enough, I want to take the most boring thing that you can work with when doing any kind of music, a 4-bar MIDI drum sample. Yeah, that's quite boring and uninteresting for now. Now we could try and compress everything, but why? These drums are placed out of any context, we don't have any backing music, so we can do what we want. And the question is, how can this be less boring? The groove won't change, the samples won't change, EQ decisions won't change, and the reverb is already there. So how do you create a different emotion? Well, let's compress, and let's do it only on one track first, on the overheads. So if you take a listen to the overhead track in solo, the whole drum kit is there, and that's where we can find something that wants to move. I don't want to start treating the individual elements even more. They already have some EQ, but they don't have any compression. Let's see how the drums sound when we do something to the overheads. For me personally, when I hear the compressed track, I instantly feel the need to take a deeper breath. I hear that there's something more moving the air now. So with compression, if you need to be descriptive, what did we do to the overheads? Well, first of all, snare has a completely different tone. The second thing is that the ghost notes now play a bigger role in the groove, and there's more room and sustain in the hi-hat, because when you take a listen to the hi-hat at first, it's not filling the space as it should. With compressed overheads, it suddenly transforms from just a hi-hat to an element that fills the top end and gives the whole kit a lot more width. Also, since the overhead track has some reverb on it, the whole perspective of the drums has more depth in that space that we imagined that it should be. But it doesn't stop there. If we do something similar to the reverb send, we get even more. Listen to what happens if I remove the compression that's happening on the reverb send. And now back in with the compression. You can probably hear how much did we actually lose when we disabled compression. The whole idea of the sound that we got from the start is kinda gone. One thing worth mentioning is that the compression that we have on the overheads isn't full. It's actually working in parallel. So we have the mix knob here around 65%. So we're still getting the dry sound of the overhead track with, I don't know, a bit of compression, but it's really adding to the sound. Let's do an A/B test one more. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. It was just a short idea to show to you guys, because I know that a lot of people out there are dealing with MIDI drums and that they can sound, I don't know, boring and not so exciting. So if you try to compress the overheads or compress the reverb or compress maybe the room track, you can probably get a lot more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.